And we are live. What's going on, ladies and gents, fans, friends, and degens around the world? Web3 Nate back once again with Andrew and Jan. I have seen more of these two hooligans in the last month than I have my own wife. We just got off our team retreat here. We went out to Ho Chi Minh City, had a great time, did a lot of planning, talked with our executive coach, had a private chef, got a workout in, had some team bonding, had a great time. We are back refreshed and ready to rock and roll. And I think the schedule is pretty clear. We should have an unbroken stream of Tuesday and Friday live streams going here for the next couple months. But good to be back. How you guys feeling?
Tired.
Dude, I don't want to see your face anymore. Go away.
Is that why you're sitting in the dark right now?
I definitely are. Yes, I don't want to see anyone's face for a while. No, it's been good, man. Like I think it's been 3 weeks or 4 weeks since we had a session together. All we had first token, we had KBW, and then we had our own team retreat. So yeah, good to be back, man. Very good.
Yeah, it's good to be finally at the desk. Honestly, it didn't look like we missed too much in the markets. Like it just looks pretty boring.
Well, I mean, we had a little action happening. Obviously, the big shakeup was last Friday. We don't need to rehash that. Largest liquidation in crypto history, $19 billion, spiked alts down some like 80%, something wild like that. I mean, Chainlink hit $8 or $7.70, something like that. You had multiple coins basically going to zero. Atom basically went to zero. It was pretty wild a couple hours there. Bitcoin dipped down to 104 on some exchanges, 107 on others.
Dude, we went more than 90%. Like, how fucked up is that? Like, if you had a cash and carry trade with 2x leverage, which is absolutely like, if you think about the degenerates that we hang out with, that's nothing. That's like the most safest bet ever. And most of the guys got liquidated. I think we spoke with a lot of OGs during our team retreat. There's a lot of bodies in the closets at the moment. I feel super bad for some of the OGs that lost more than 8+ figures, 9+ figures. Some funds exploded. But yeah, like this is pretty fucked up, to be honest. And all the roads go to Binance.
Yeah. It literally was mostly because of Binance system, but it's also on them too for fucking over leveraging. Like if you're fucking that stupid to over leverage and like be that greedy, then like it's on you. Like that's like the problem with cryptos. Like people don't understand the basic concept of risk management, and then you get yourself in these kind of situations where nobody expects a black swan event. And then it just takes one big event like that to just wipe them all out. Are people going to learn from this? Probably not. You're going to see this again in the next cycle. This happens almost every cycle. So, hopefully it's a good lesson to those that are learning right now that like, you really got to be careful when you're using leverage.
It already happened. This is the second time it happened this cycle. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It happened back with the tariff announcements. Right, like the markets get so over leveraged and people react. I mean, you're even seeing the traditional markets now. Every piece of news that comes out that in the past would have been relatively minor, and the markets are freaking doing this. And in crypto, when with as much leverage and as shady as the centralized exchanges are, that's when you get what we saw last Friday, $19 billion in liquidations overnight or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, pretty wild. Like even if you're just holding spot, you would have taken a pretty nasty hit, but you wouldn't have lost everything, and you would have been kind of pretty much back to where we were.
Yeah, almost everything's pretty close.
But this was pretty crazy because this was much bigger liquidation than the FTX event, Celsius event. Like everything fell down. Like this should have not happened. Like that's the thing, and I'm still surprised. Like. I think it's going to take at least a couple of weeks, depending on what mood Trump is with his trade wars. But it's definitely going to be like, I don't know, like how to overcome this is gonna be a question mark. A lot of market makers got broken.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
A lot of
wild.
exchanges made a crap load of money.
Yeah, and insiders also made a lot of money.
Yeah, the anybody that's generating fees off trading was doing pretty damn good. And then there was the one whale,
Yeah, exactly.
the one random whale who somehow knew made 100 million in like 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, there was also a pretty big whale the night before, I believe, as well. But nobody's talking about that one. But,
Some pretty sus stuff going on.
that's crypto. It's the markets. It's crime season.
Yeah, par for the course. Well, what do we got? I mean, that's kind of old news. We probably don't need to rehash that too much. Markets are bouncing back yesterday. Everybody pretty excited. Markets were rallying up to about 111, 112. Everybody's talking about, okay, V-shaped recovery. I know myself, I was pretty skeptical. I thought we were going to bounce a little higher, or whether you want to call it a dead cat bounce, bear trap, or bull trap, whatever. I thought we were going to go at least like 114, 115 before pulling back here, but looking like we're back down to 106, 107 already today?
Yeah, it looks like it. I think we're just going to be bouncing around for a little while, to be honest. It's like I've been saying, like, until we start getting, like, structures, momentum signal confirmations and stuff like that, it's going to be hard to see a strong case to the bull side. We were expecting a pretty big sell-off in October, right? We kind of marked October 1st as the kind of date, but it took like an extra about 10 days before it finally nuked. So, based on the Jan barometer, October was kind of the month where we were expecting that final blow off. And then we kind of sell off, see a pretty big retracement, and then as we kind of get into that November, December, we should start seeing the market slowly come back. So, even though we got the nuke, that we were kind of expecting. Now we just have to wait and see how long it takes for it to come back. Probably what you'll see is like, signals like double bottoms, bullish divergences, oversold conditions, reload zones, So once you have all that, I do think the market will eventually come back. But for now, I think we probably need to do a bit of cleaning up for the next little while here. So, I mean, you technically had a pretty clear signal for the market to be topping. You got a nice big double top that rolled in, right against the 4.669 level as well. And then, yeah, I mean, like, there wasn't really any bear divs. Maybe, like, we were kind of overbought with the RSI there, but it was mostly a pretty big news-driven kind of sell-off there. 10th of October, yeah. But now, as you can see, we are playing around with the 17.6 of this reload zone here. This is where I would expect the bulls to come back in and start defending. So kind of interesting that we've tagged this twice now. So obviously the bulls are trying to defend this level here. All we really need is now just, form a nice little double bottom. And then if we get that double bottom, kind of like how we did back here, this even bigger double bottom, then we can, expect to see a bit more higher prices. So we've got 200 SMA kind of holding here. It looks like we are trying to break below right now. So we might have to come back and stab these lows again. And then, if we can start developing these bullish divs on the MACD, if we can get either an oversold condition as well, then I do think that we would be getting a bit of a turn, but probably have to see a little bit more of a sell-off here, to be honest.
Do you think we will touch under 100K?
Eventually, yes. This market is eventually gonna have to come back down, retest these lower levels. If I go on a weekly chart, let's see how that looks. Yeah, I mean, that's not a really pretty weekly chart. That looks kind of like a double top there on the weekly. I guess it's more of a V-top on the line chart. But essentially, we lost those lows. These lows are probably going to be retested. Ultimately, We don't want to see these lows get. Oh shoot! Oh, that's gonna come back.
What have you done?
I nuked the charts. But yeah, essentially, if we lose these lows here, like 100K, then like obviously this market's gonna be pretty screwed for a while. So you can tell like the moving averages right here are coming in as support, trying to hold up this uptrend. But for me personally, I think it looks a bit weaker than looking bullish. But if the daily starts turning here, if we can start printing those double bottoms within this reload zone here, then we have a chance. And then, based on the Jan barometer, we have what, November and December, expecting to be up action. So I think maybe the next week or two, we start forming that kind of bottomish base. And then as we get into November and then into December, we should expect a final rally. And then after that, I really don't know what to expect for 2026. I definitely would like to get out of most of my positions by then, hoping for one last push. But if we don't get that, then so be it. Just probably watch your levels and manage your risk carefully here. I think it's pretty dangerous to try to like ape into things here and just like blindly think that this is the bottom. I think this is when you really got to be like critical and like really understand your setups. So for me, until I see the perfect setup, I'll probably just be kind of hands off on most things.
Well, I mean, we saw $40 billion just wipe out. Like,
yeah.
where are we gonna get that money? I mean, the seller needs to start fucking raising money. Yeah, he needs to raise a lot of money now and just full tilt on BTC.
Yeah.
We do have.
Go ahead.
I'll say we do have quite a few bullish events happening between now and let's say early November that we'll take a look at here when we take a look at a few stories. I think it's kind of playing out pretty close to what we've been calling for the last couple months. So overall, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, we were already kind of suffering from like low liquidity and no retail participation. I don't think the liquidation helped that any better, but
they're
definitely like it's better to be buying when people are crying, right? As they say. So
I mean, I tell you guys, like when the fear and greed is like so negative as now, and the whole crypto Twitter is just crying. To be honest, like I made the most money on these shops. And remember, like when FTX and Celsius got very wrecked, like those opportunities like was amazing. And very good. It's almost all-time low. Some of the coins, including Aptos, Near, like some of the top 100 coins, they're all-time low. I think the risk reward here is pretty good. But obviously, as you said before, like 2026, who knows what will come. Gold is all-time high, which is definitely a negative thing. Or usually when gold goes so parabolic as now, it's definitely not a good thing. Something has been broken. But yeah, like how do you hedge against the dollar? It's BTC and ETH, risk assets,
or gold.
or gold. Yeah.
What might be broken? Like I don't know, maybe the entire fiat system.
Yeah. So I mean, when I look at gold, we're actually at a 4.669 based off this like kind of last base. That's probably why you're starting to see it kind of slow down here, actually. So I wouldn't be surprised if gold is slowly trying to see if there's going to be a top kind of slowly coming in. Once you get that double top, it's probably done for a little while. But yeah, I mean, it's weird because like I'm seeing like articles that like people are lining up outside trying to buy gold right now. So when you get like retail starting to pile in and like wanting to like ape into this stuff, that's generally the sign of like the end of a move, in my opinion, rather than the beginning. So you got retail coming in, buying in up here, when realistically you should have been kind of buying during this like low base here I was forming. But
so what I heard from the gold and silver markets is that they are manipulated and basically the futures they were selling too much gold and silver. So now there's no silver and gold left. If you want to buy something small like $1,000 worth or $500 worth, there just isn't gold, you know. And
Yeah.
we come again to the same conclusion. Like BTC, you have 21 million coins. You know exactly how many coins are there. Everything is on chain. With gold and silver, you can't really know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're always finding new supply, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, they just found what $83 billion gold deposit in China.
yeah. It's never ending.
Well, that was what it was worth when they found. I mean, now that the price of gold's 2.5x, probably is worth quite a bit more. But yeah, I mean, they're going to continue to find more gold. Although it's a slow trickle into the market, but not Bitcoin is ultimately finite.
Yeah. Bitcoin's the digital gold of the new age. Well, moving on to ETH here, it's pretty much like Bitcoin, just a big dead bounce. Now we're coming back down, retesting. It's nice to see that the 38.2 kind of held here. So this is like what we call the first stop. So after a big explosive move, the first natural level prices are going to come back down to is 38.2. So we came in, we bounced right out of it. If you're a levels type trader, you could have snuck in there. Same thing as like the 17.6 on Bitcoin. So we bounced out, we came back. Now we're trying to retest to see whether this is, officially the top or not. What I would want to see is, again, if we can start printing these double bottoms here, right? So we got this first part, and now we're just waiting for the right curve. If we can get that, then I do think we have a chance for the market to come back to rally. Otherwise, we might just have to keep coming back down and retesting a bit lower levels. 200 SMA it's still pretty below us. And we don't have any oversold conditions. We don't have bull divs yet. So there's still room for more selling in order to get that momentum confirmation. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for on both of Bitcoin and ETH, is waiting for those bullish momentum confirmations, and then as well as the double bottoms in price. Location-wise, they're kind of okay. Like this is already in a reload zone. This is kind of near that 38.2 support level. So if we can start, forming and holding here, that would be ideal. But for now, things are looking a little bit weak. So very toppy, very nasty out there. If you look at the indexes, as you can see, stablecoin dominance is ripping higher. Alt indexes don't look that great right now. Although, if we can start turning and printing in those W's again, then we can probably see a rally come back. But until then, I do think that we're kind of hands off of altcoins right now. And if you look at the general altcoin market, we've just been kind of going sideways down and ranging. Slow grind to the low side, right? What I'm thinking is we're probably going to see prices like have to clean up these tails, meaning that price action will eventually have to climb all the way down until it's tagged, pretty close to that bottom there, which is obviously not what people want to see or hear. That would pretty much be devastating for the market, but it seems like it's kind of just struggling at the moment. It is,
Bro, I have still a hard time to believe these weeks. Like, those are like 80-90% weeks. This should not happen. There should be liquidity. But I think once we go to Nathan's Twitter threads and so forth, like a lot of market makers, they could not fill orders at all.
yeah.
So I don't know. Like I do feel, I kind of agree with you. Like, hey, might need to revisit those levels, but this should be like we're talking about again, minus 50, minus 60% of where we are now.
Yeah,
So
I mean it's doable. Like during these last bear cycles, like we saw altcoins go down like 99%. People
No,
just forget.
absolutely. But the argument here is that, like, are we on a bear market already, or is this like,
Could be.
yeah,
Yeah, we definitely could be. That's the problem where I'm like, if I look at the Jan barometer, I think we still have 2 months left of like this year at least. I think markets were expecting a pretty big sell off as we were kind of like seeing October being the month. But like I do think that there is supposed to be at least another rally coming back. So, as you can see, things are just sideways, kind of slowly going to the low side, but eventually things will start Wing out, right? Like look at Comp, like Comp's trying to put in a W. There's a few other names that are trying to put in W's. So it's really just watching and seeing how these all resolve on the daily. And then the main thing that I would kind of look for is like the ETH Bitcoin chart as well. Like, if anything, we should have kind of known the top of the market was in for altcoins back in August, really, like going into September. Because, like, we saw the double top structure here. We had the bearish divergences. We had the overbought conditions. And I believe if you go back to our streams, like, we've had this drawn out for months now. And essentially, it's pretty much played out, like, pretty much as we expected. Didn't quite hit that 2-to-1, but it was pretty darn close. And now we have the opposite of where we got the bullish divergence, had the oversold conditions here, but no bullish structure really, mostly just a V bottom. So what we really want to start seeing is probably, W's starting to come back in, especially against this 38.2. That is kind of where you would expect that support to first hit, right? So it's kind of interesting how that came in right there and it flew right back out. Those 38.2s are quite fun levels to watch. But
bro, who would have thought that gold would go to 5K before ETH?
yeah, I mean that's pretty pretty interesting. But yeah, I guess ETH is hated on so much compared to gold.
$30 trillion asset.
And we can't break 4.5K with ETH.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate.
Well, when Amazon goes down and all the ETH RPC nodes go down, it's not a real great real confidence booster for the system.
No, we're decentralized, baby. We're decentralized. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, but like again, from my point of view, I don't think we're in a bear market yet. I think fear and greed, it's almost all-time low. Usually when crypto Twitter is crying as much it is now, I think it's good time to buy. I think the risk reward is there. And usually December, November, very bullish months. Like if we have now, like as always in October, during KBW or token a big dump, I think it's part of the game. But again, obviously, like all eyes on Binance. This should have not happened.
Yeah. And just, watch the weekly charts, watch the daily charts. You get the double bottoms. You're probably better off hitting those trades. But until then, just, let the market kind of resolve and, wash itself up a little bit. Yeah. The only altcoin that I did buy recently was Athena. Mainly because, it's the same setup that I've always played. You're in the reload zone. You got the bullish divergence. You had oversold conditions. And you got a double bottom in price. So I'm willing to take a shot here.
Plus the founders bought like $40 million worth of, I think.
Yeah. I think there was like some selling as well, just like the other day. But overall, like I like the narrative. I like the way it looks technically as well, setup wise. And then just ignore everything else and just let the trade do its thing, right? If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. That's fine. If it hits, it hits. Also fine. So the most important thing is you just play your setups and hope for the best. But yeah, in terms of most of the altcoins, like that's the only one that I saw that actually had a complete setup. So yeah, mostly just waiting on everything else.
I can tell you exactly what the market's doing. It's waiting for me to close a big M&A deal so I can have some dry powder to ape into the market because I'm broke right now. It's giving me some more time to accumulate some funds before get ready for the next leg up.
Yeah.
But I think on the M&A side, just want to be very happy that there's a lot of buyers still, a lot of deals behind the scenes happening. Hopefully we can announce something soon, but definitely there's definitely a buyer's market now.
Oh, absolutely. I think M&A and OTC are red hot at the moment. So if you're unaware of what we do, that's our two core verticals. Mergers and acquisitions for Web3 and OTC, secondary things of that nature. So if either of those are of interest to you on the buy or sell side, definitely hit us up on Telegram. You can ping us on via the website, X, comment on the live stream, whatever. We'll get in touch.
Hit that like and subscribe and share.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of hot markets, I mean, equities are pretty hot, I would say. I mean, we had that massive nuke in equities and crypto. Crypto hasn't quite fully recovered, but if you look at equities, like we're already kind of right back to the original levels. And if anything, it's got a very bullish pattern. It's got two bullish patterns. So the first bullish pattern that I saw was this bullish harami. So a bullish harami is essentially when the candle body and wick is within the candle body of the previous candle. So kind of like right here. And then essentially you just enter on the one tick above of that confirmation of the head of the candle of the harami. And then your stop loss is pretty much at the bottom of that previous candle. And then you just do a simple 2 to 1. So this fired pretty much, what is that, on the Tuesday, on the 14th. And we've just been kind of playing out. And in the meantime, we've actually started carving out a double bottom. And this double bottom is actually really well defined. Like it's a very clean double bottom. That's like the kind of pattern and shape that you really want to see. That nice clean W. And so now we got a bullish harami. We got a double bottom coming in. It makes me think that the equities market is a lot hotter than people think. I think we've already eaten most of that sell-off that we saw. And now things are, pointing to the upside. So if equities are going to continue higher and pump, I don't see why crypto can't and won't. If anything, I think maybe equity is going to lead the market here for now, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest theory overall for this market. I mean, there's a million people that say stock to flow and business cycle and this and that and the other. At the end of the day, if you think that Trump and his party, the Trump admin, the Republicans are going to let the markets tank when we have midterms in 2026, you're out of your mind. Like they're going to pull every trick they can to keep the markets up, to keep stocks pumping, to keep the money flowing. They're going to be cutting rates. They're going to be adding to the balance sheet, quantitative easing, whatever they can do. I don't see how the overall market is going to crash. And the TradFi markets are going to go down before the elections. And that, I agree. I think that is a strong case for crypto to stay bullish as well. Now, how does that play out? Is it going to be easy and just straight up into the right? Absolutely not. We already saw what happened this month. We're obviously not out of it. A lot of people are expecting Q4 to be bullish and green. We could go sideways until the last 2 weeks of December and then rip up to the top and have a green Q4. Who knows? Like the cycle is different. How is it different? Expect the unexpected. I think that's always kind of a good rule to follow. But are we in a bear market? Do I see us, the market just dying off at 130? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would Bitcoin and the entire crypto market dump while stocks and everything else continue to pump?
Yeah. Only time will tell at this point. It would suck to see a disconnect, but I do think both markets are risk-on assets, so it would make sense for them to move together.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing all the positive signs for assets like Bitcoin to continue to go up. Gold's ripping to insane levels. M2 supply is as high as it's ever been. Bitcoin's lagging behind them on that. Dollar's weakening. adoption is every single news story you see is adoption left and right. Vice president and president talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency constantly. We have in a couple hours, the Fed is hosting a digital assets summit where they're going to be talking about how to transition from TradFi into digital assets. There's so much institutional adoption happening right now. We are still missing the retail component. I think that's why a lot of people are so bearish, is we haven't had our alt market. But Bitcoin's almost done 10x.
Yeah,
from the lows.
It did.
It was at 115,600, less than a little over 2 years ago. So it's still going. I mean, it's just because it's been weird. We've had this meme thing, and we haven't had alts run the way we want to. Like you said, Ethereum is getting outpaced by gold. Who the fuck thought that would happen? So it's been a weird bull market, but it's definitely been a bull market. I think that's undeniable.
Yeah, 100%. It just depended on what asset you're in. Like even meme coins, like you saw meme coins doing 100x's like constantly throughout the summer, even like early in the year. So it definitely just had to be like where you're playing, essentially.
For sure. Yeah, I mean that's I'm open to just about any theory nowadays. People say four-year cycle is broken, or the 4-year cycle is now a 5-year cycle, or it's not the 4-year halving cycle, it's the business cycle, or it's this, or it's that, or it's the other. Like, if there's one thing I think this cycle has proven is that we don't know what this cycle is going to do, because it's so different in so many ways than any other cycle ever. I don't think anybody knows really which way is up at this point.
Yeah. That's it for me for charts wise. If you want to jump right into the news that we got for this week.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some good stuff, or some interesting stuff anyways. I don't know how much of it is good. It depends on your opinion here, but let's take a look. Starting out here, continuing on with the gold conversation. Now we have, gold is definitely overheated. We looked at the chart a little bit ago. I mean, what was it? Yeah, in the last cycle, we were at 10 trillion gold. Now we just broke 30, and we were at 20. It was less than 6 months ago? Not even, when we hit 20 trillion. It's like we put $10 trillion in market cap into gold in months. That's insane. So yeah, definitely overheated. What happens though when gold starts peeling back? Where does all that money go? Well, a lot of people think that Bitcoin makes logical sense for some of that money to flow into as another risk on asset, as another hedge against the dollar, versus going from gold right back into the dollar there. And what would that look like if we did see now over $30 trillion gold, $30 trillion market cap gold? Here is a really interesting chart put together here. So currently, now about 107 for Bitcoin. If 1% of the current gold market cap flows into Bitcoin, it pump us to 134. If we saw 5%, that would push us to 242. Now, these numbers aren't exact, but it's going to push us to an insane amount. Could double 3 to 4% of the gold market cap flowing into Bitcoin would double Bitcoin right now. That is insanely bullish, in my opinion. How many people do you think that have bought gold recently are also eyeing Bitcoin?
So I think this is the thing. We have still old people that are living. There's going to be a huge difference, let's say in 5 years or 10 years time, when we have our, unfortunately, parents dying, and that wealth will eventually come to the younger generation. And younger generation, I mean, what do they own? They own crypto. Like, it's just a matter of time. And I'm repeating myself. I said it this many times before. Look at the 5-year horizon. You cannot lose with BTC. BTC has always recovered. There's always been a new all-time high after 5 years. So I think gold pumping so much as it is, I think it's a good thing. And eventually that money will flow to BTC.
CZ agrees with you. Bitcoin will eventually flip gold. I don't know when it's going to happen. Might take some time, but save the tweet, he says. Very possible, very plausible. I think gold always is going to have its place. But should there be this big of a discrepancy, 2 trillion versus 30 trillion? Probably
I
not.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a fair evaluation. I mean, you use gold every day. Gold is used in many applications. Like, what is Bitcoin really used for?
Gold
Like,
is 2,000 years old or even more.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like,
Gold, gold is like 2,000 years ahead of BTC, and
Far,
this
far
is
more
like
than
a good
2,000.
ratio.
Gold's
It's a
been
good
being used
ratio.
for far more than 2,000 years.
Yeah,
yeah,
but like you
the
get
beginning
my
of time.
point. You get my point. Like gold is there; it's not gonna go away. It's gonna grow eventually. Money supply will grow, and BTC will grow. Like it's just a matter of time.
Oh, agreed. How sharp of a decline do you think we see? Breaking $30 trillion market cap. I mean, are we talking 10% retracement, 30% retracement? How hot? Overheated is gold at the moment.
I
Good
mean, it's hard to
question.
say.
Like I would say like if we go back to 3,500 range, that would be totally fine. Gold is again, it's hard to sell. It's hard to move. If you hold it for a long time. You have gold bugs that have been holding for 20 years from the 90s, and it took 10 years or 20 years to get this parabolic move. Like,
Yeah.
how about BTC? It's been it's been every 5 years. So yeah, again, is it overvalued? I don't think so. We are printing more money than ever.
Yeah, definitely. So, as long as we keep printing money, then like these kind of assets like gold and Bitcoin should technically still keep climbing higher. These are your inflation proxies, right? So, yeah, I mean,
The dollar's not getting more valuable. Yeah, this has been put around quite a bit. Gold, they're saying it's offset. The gold chart and the Bitcoin chart have been very correlated over the last couple of years here, or at least the last maybe year and a half. Gold often front running by about 80 days, which would put us just past the end of this year to see a massive, massive pump. That doesn't mean is that going to start today, but if this correlation continues, that would show a very, very bullish rest of the year here.
that'd be nice. Jam Barometer says November, December, up, up, up. So it's kind of what I'm expecting.
Yeah. Now this would be a bit of an insane super cycle if this comes true here. We've all seen the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all pretty used to this. They've now added in a phase 0 being gold. I think a little bit fanciful and far fetched, but yeah, I would. I don't think this would suck. Seeing even what we saw from here, 5% of the gold market cap flowing into Bitcoin, we get into the crazy territory too. $250,000 Bitcoin there. So, but anyways, lots of speculation going on. Obviously, M2 and gold both have pumped. A lot of people calling for Bitcoin to chase here. Time will tell. We've looked at a lot of charts, a lot of speculation, but DCA and HODL as always. Hard to go wrong. Some very bullish stuff that is happening within the next month. Obviously, we're all aware in 8 days, we've got the Fed, the FOMC meeting. Everyone's expecting another rate cut. I think we're expecting 25 basis points. We could get surprised with 50. But this is today, actually. This is the Federal Reserve is hosting a conference on payments innovation. Topics including bridging traditional finance with digital assets, stablecoin uses and business models, AI in payments, and tokenized products. Basically, this is what everyone was talking about nonstop at KBW and at Token. It was RWA tokenization. It was stablecoins. This was the major two driving narratives. And now you have the Federal Reserve of the United States hosting a panel or a discussion on how to adopt this in the largest economy in the world, inviting Chainlink, Paxos, Circle, Coinbase. You've got Sergey, the Chainlink founder, will be speaking. CEO of Fireblocks is going to be there. CEO and founder of Paxos. You get Kathy Wood from ARK Invest, CFO at Coinbase. So big heavyweight people from our industry going to be working directly with the Federal Reserve and major TradFi bankers on how we can continue this flow, this institutional adoption that we have been seeing here. Bullish, bearish, a nothing burger. What do you guys think here? Is this going to see kind of any impact as we move forward here towards the end of the month?
I mean, I think it's funny. It's like they want to be in control of the money flow. They don't want to let it go. So obviously, this is probably bullish for these companies, right? If you're getting the backing of the reserves, the government, more use cases, and probably to get better conditions in terms of like laws and stuff. So bullish.
Yeah, but this is again, we're integrating more and more into TradFi. We can see it on our flow already. We can see on token 2049. We can see who we are meeting more and more. It's more TradFi people than before. And I think most of these guys, like if you think of me, if you think of you guys, we started crypto when we were under 30. And obviously, the older you get, the more you understand, hey, the risks, what you take on when you're young is totally different when you take risk when you're older. And the Wild West that we had before is not going to be there anymore. It's going to be a little bit more sophisticated. And obviously, the ones that have been surviving the bear markets, I mean, they're in a very good positions. Like all of those names that you guys see, Paxos, Chainlink, Fireblocks, most of them started in 2017, 2019, I mean, Digital Labs, 2021. But yeah, I totally get this. And I think this is pretty bullish. We're more integrated than before. And this is the way to go.
Yeah.
Even just a year and a half, 2 years ago, you would never expect to see the vice president of the United States with a statement like, we want Americans to know that crypto and digital assets, particularly Bitcoin, are part of the mainstream economy and here to stay. I mean, before the Trump administration came in, it was exact opposite. You had Gary Gensler, you had Elizabeth Warren, Biden, all the powers that be on the left, just lambasting crypto constantly, telling us how it's all for scammers and ruggers, and that the technology has no place in our economy, in our government, in our world, that Bitcoin is worthless, it's going to zero, et cetera, et cetera. And in 2 years, we've done a complete 180. Not only do we have them preaching the good word of the Bitcoin gospel, but actually innovating and seeing how we can bring our traditional finance rails into Web3. Wild change in 2 years. This is the kind of stuff that Walmart now accepting crypto, Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP.
But this is old news. We know that almost every big brand is already accepting crypto. It's not gonna end. It's just.
That's my point. That's my point. Is all this kind of stuff. It's hard to be bearish. Obviously short term is short term, but it's hard to think that the cycle is over when you have just so much adoption on top of what's going on in the macro environment of the overall economy with rate cuts, money printing, election coming up, you name it. To say, oh no, we were 126K was the top. See you in 18 months.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's gonna hate me, but I'm I don't know. I don't think it's out of the question, to be honest. I think it makes perfect sense. Most of the times when you see these kind of news articles, you have to think in the opposite direction of is it actually bullish? Is this just people just jumping on the bandwagon way too late at the top? It's generally what most of the time happens, right? So for me, it's yeah, sure, there's adoption, yada yada, but I don't know. I think this is coming at kind of near the end of a cycle.
Time will tell. We got an important call coming up in about 5 minutes here, but so I guess a couple of quick things to leave you with before we go. XRP included in the payments that Walmart apparently will be accepting. But so this is your weekly or your monthly reminder that fuck XRP, fuck their founders. It's a central bank coin. It's dog shit. Don't buy it. Don't use it. Chris Larson, Ripple co-founder, offloading $50 million XRP worth $120 million in the past hour. This is constant. The team, the family behind it, they're literally offloading nonstop, constantly, have algorithmic selling setup. Meanwhile, while they're paying the worst shills in the business to go out and tell you that XRP is going to $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 a token, they are cashing out as fast as they can. So, yeah, just your monthly reminder to that, fuck XRP. I thought this was pretty fun. We can end it on this. Decentralized finance. Select all Ethereum validators. 9 pictures of Jeff Bezos. Good little stress test earlier this week for the markets. But hey, hopefully we were learning lessons from this. Probably not, but hopefully the builders out there are learning lessons from this.
But this is let's turn it positive. Like this is opportunity. Again, like maybe there is like we had helium for a while. I don't think I have no clue how helium is doing nowadays. But like there is decentralized solutions, and if we really want to go decentralized, there would be a possibility. But we are not putting money there. We're not putting money where we should.
DeSci is getting a lot more attention now. DeSci and DPIN, our narratives are coming back a little bit. So, I mean, if we do get a second half to this bull cycle here, where we have some sort of, venture capital market, which we haven't had yet, I think those would be, RWA, DPIN, DeSci, things like that are going to be top of that food chain if and when we do get that. And that what happened on Monday is a great example of why. But all right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. We are out of time. We've got a call we're gonna need to hop on here shortly. But thank you everybody that tuned in. We will be back on Friday. We're gonna get both episodes in this week, and we'll be back next week as well. I don't think we have any travel plans or offsites or meetings or conferences at least for another month or two. So. Back to programming, regular scheduled programming as usual. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you have any OTC, secondaries, or M&A needs, your one-stop shop. Any final words for us, Andrew, Jan?
Just go slow. No rush to try to ape into the market here just right now.
Yeah, from my side, I think always when crypto Twitter is crying as much as it is at the moment, it's good time to buy. I think there's a lot of opportunities still. I think things will turn. Stay positive. People that lost a lot of money, remember it's only money. Don't do self-suicides or anything else. And people that have grinded for a long time, I'm just happy that saw you guys everywhere doing a token. KBW, and happy to be back on track here with the guys.
Absolutely. We'll catch you next time. Later.
Bye.